Has investor sentiment in our economy evaporated? That's the big question. After Standard & Poor lowered India's rating outlook to negative, several key industrialists have now voiced their concern. India Inc. is clearly worried at the prospect of policy paralysis.
Amidst growing criticism of the economy and ratings agency Standard & Poor's putting out a warning about India's economy, telecom czar Sunil Mittal says doing business in India is getting tougher.
It's a lot tougher to do business in India today when my balance sheet is strong, when I understand my business better, when we are celebrated across the globe. I find it much tougher today.
I think that is
then
exactly
when I was
what
much
Richie said,
weaker, much smaller, because, you know...
The environment was different.
Yeah, when you have an environment of hope,
yes,
as opposed to environment of, I wouldn't say despair, but not so much of great hope, you try to conserve cash. You start retreating back and wait for the right time.
Mittal's remarks sent the government into firefighting mode and gave the opposition yet another opportunity to hit out at the economic policies of the government.
I hope that this passing impression that some decisions will stand in the way of the investment climate is only a passing impression, and that we will get back to a good steep climb as far as the investment climate is concerned.
A businessman of the stature of Sunil Mittal, who has established a great company like Airtel, is so despondent today that India is not a safe investment destination. There is no hope. I think there can be no sad commentary over the mismanagement of Indian economy and a great economist, Dr. Manmohan Singh.
But Sunil Mittal found support among other industry biggies, including steel baron Lakshmi Mittal, who also agreed that the economy is on a downward trend.
Surely things are moving slow, there is no doubt. And process approvals are taking time because the rules were not set.
Just a few days ago, the Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee allayed concerns over a slowdown, saying the economy will ride on its strong fundamentals and resilience to take a higher growth trajectory. At the moment, though, the sentiment among Indian businessmen seems to be rather negative. In New Delhi with Siddharth Pandey, Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Well, international concern now at India and whether that investment environment which existed, which has been spoken about so highly, is evaporating. Lots of leading industrialists such as Lakshmi Mittal have said that Indian policymakers have a lot to think about. The big question is India no longer investor friendly. Joining us, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP, Subodh Bhargav, the former president of the CII, Chandrajit Banerjee, Director General of the Confederation of Indian Industry, and Sanjay Jha, author and columnist, also co-founder of HamaraCongress.com. Ravi Shankar Prasad, sir, if I can come to you first. In as much as the BJP accuses the Congress of the government of having policy paralysis, isn't it also true that the opposition has played a disruptive role? When it comes to key issues, for example, FDI in retail, the government seems to be in a bind because of what the opposition is doing, including the BJP. What about petrol price hike? The government insists there must be rationalization. But so many opposition parties, including the BJP, have problems with that.
Let me tell you very clearly and categorically, if Sunil Mittal is saying what he is saying, then it is a great dilemma and agony of India's economy. I would say 4 issues are absolutely plaguing this management of economy. Policy paralysis, rightly pointed out. No stability in decision making. No cohesion within the government. Also within the allies. And also corruption as a big factor in also accelerating more investment, in the sense you have to spend more to get something done. You asked about the BJP. Who opposed FDI in retail? There were inkling from 10 Janpath, also from Mamta. Let me give you 3 instances how BJP is willing to cooperate. I've been the Coal Minister of India. The Coal Mine Nationalization Amendment Act, I piloted it, pending in the Raj Sabha since the year 2004, not been taken over. Pension Fund, yes. Yashwant Sinha, Chairman Standing Committee, recommended for more trust to the pensioners. We are willing to support. Mamta ji opposes, they don't introduce it. Insurance regulatory bill, etc. A whole range. Yes, on FDI retail we have a problem. 5 crore people will be affected in terms of employment. We have a genuine problem. And you don't reduce big things without anything in return from international community. My point is, don't throw your failures at our doors.
Okay.
We are willing to cooperate, but the government's ministers do not have unanimity. The government's allies do not have the unanimity, and most important, we have a lack of authority at the top in the decision making as to who call the shots, and there is no stability in economic policies. These are the problems which are, apart from corruption, which I pointed out.
Sir,
Just to give you one instance,
okay.
it's very important, Vishnu,
Okay.
just a minute.
Yeah.
This National Highway Program, a big flagship program of Bajpayee government, today is almost stopped. We used to construct 11 kilometers per day. They claim 20 kilometers. Now there is only corruption in the National Highway Authority, and see what is happening. You don't undertake economic advance to these kind of situation where you don't know what the left hand is doing, and you are not able to have a framework of implementing what we have promised.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.